Hey internets, here we are. It's time for D&D New Year's Eve style. We're going to do a crazy fun one-shot. Going to be set in Greyhawk. My name is Wiley Habit. I'm going to be playing Nyx, can't read it, Granite Heart, a 4th level gnome illusionist who's really cool just as soon as I read their character sheet a little more in depth, which I'll be doing while people are introducing themselves. And I would like to go with ladies first, after the host, of course. So Meg, tell us a little bit about your character, maybe a little bit about yourself. We'll go around the room.
Oh, I got nothing on the character yet. That will develop as we go. But I'm Meg. I can be found around the internet as Morlisair, and over on the Craftic Studios channel on Twitch every other Tuesday on Saving Face playing Marcella. Um, I'm just here to have a ball.
I think that's going to happen. I'm confident we're going to have a good time. So thank you for joining
I
us.
I would hope so. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. All right, we're going to go right across the top row here. We're going to my left to right. Rollo, Bob, Rob, Robert, Bob.
Bob,
The one with the
greetings.
beard.
I am Bob, creator of the number 7, owner of a rusty truck, and currently 4 inches of snow sitting outside my window. I will be playing Rollo Ironspire, dwarf fighter from the small hill of the large mountain range far to the east. I have no idea. I'm just making this up. You can find me. Actually, I'm kind of internet hidden purposely. You can find me on the O4A Discord and the Crafting Studios Discord. That's about it. Hi.
Glad to have you, man. Thanks for joining us, Bob. And enjoy that snow, buddy. All right, let's go right to the center square here with Andrew. Gareth Kiltarin.
Hey, hey y'all, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables. You all flock here on Monday nights to see me as Rujahar, but tonight I'm playing Gareth Kiltarin, the human cleric, who definitely knows a lot about his deity.
Very nice. All right, Gareth. And then our final player, Talia Thistlebray.
G'day, I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on the internet, various places, including several discords, including Wiley's, which I'm sure Wiley will be dropping in the chat when we're going at it. I am playing, as I said before, or as Scott said, Talia Thistlebray, an urchin, a halfling lightfoot, rogue thief. It'll be fun. Nothing could possibly go wrong with a halfling in the group. They're adorable.
Amen, brother. Amen.
And lucky.
All right, and finally, the founder of the feast, the man whose fault this is, the myth, the legend, all the way from New Jersey, from his own Twitch channel, he joins us, Rob.
Hi. Thank you, Wiley, for that wonderful welcome. I really hope that I do not completely screw up your Twitch stream tonight.
That'll be me.
Looking.
Not possible.
For the record, while I have been a long time DM, been playing for some 40 years now, this will be the first time that I've actually had the opportunity to DM on a stream.
Oh, cool.
And for the record, while I do DM by the seat of my pants, normally speaking, I don't do a lot of one-shots. So this is going to be something new for me, something new for you. I have not had the opportunity to play with any of you before. So I think this is really cool. Thank you all for joining the game. I can be found on various Discords, most notably, Wiley's Discord, the Greyhawk Online Discord, and I am one of the Mad Chatters in Blue Box RPG's stream and Discord as well. So, if there's Greyhawk going on, you can probably find me there.
Awesome.
I guess we can get started. So, it is not that this is all that important, but being in the world's Greyhawk, we are late in the month of Sunset, which is the last month of the year. It is a few days before the new year begins, which starts off with the Festival of Meadfest, in the world of Greyhawk. For those who don't know, there each month, every few months, there is a week-long festival, and Need Fest is the first one. Your party has been together for a little while now. You've managed to eke out some treasure, uh, managed to find a few prizes here and there. However, your last venture was a little taxing, and you are on your way to the town of Halden. One, to find some rest and relaxation. Two, hopefully for the chance of possibly finding your next adventure and picking up some more coin. And last but not least, to potentially enjoy the Need Fest festival and bring in the new year. Uh, it is cold, being the height of winter. The days are short, and the fact that you are up a bit to the north, the days are really, honestly, especially short. Uh, it's mid morning when you arrive in the town of Halden. Uh, the There are signs of the festival being set up. You can see bunting put about, um, people doing their best to find winter floral arrangements that work. Carts are being set. However, they're you're a bit used to there being more of a positive atmosphere around this time. Things seem a little bit subdued, potentially. Um, and with that, we're going to have a very, very open session. And you can tell me what you'd like to do first. Please, by all means, do not feel the need to wait. If you want to roleplay amongst yourselves, please go right ahead. I'm very much into playing off of my players, as you know. So, whatever you'd like to do.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I need to get some spell components, herbs and things and the like. Anyone else? Kind of twirls his long hair.
I don't know about spell components, but I mean, I'll join you to the shops.
Excellent. Very well. That would be wonderful.
Zotal has provided me with all that I need.
I'll kind of roll my eyes. Don't, but you need components, right? We all need components. Zotal's about all I need. Kind of walk off muttering.
Got anything good that's going to go into tonight's dinner? Seasonings, salt, spice?
Maybe
I
some
don't know why you're looking at me.
spell components?
I don't know. What does that stuff work?
Don't
It's kinda
don't
like a
look at me.
cookbook, isn't it?
That was Talia's deal.
Well, you know what? Considering I can keep up with you, little one, I'm with you. Let's go.
Okay. It's not very hard to identify the most likely place in town. The town not being exceptionally large, you're able to find an apothecary shop. There are, right in the windows, there are various herbs being grown, and lots of interesting things hanging from rope inside. Hopefully dead, otherwise that might be worrying. And like most shops of the nature, there's a rather pungent smell that is coming from all the things in various states that lay within.
Ah, yes, this place should do very nicely. And I just walk in, kind of blow in like I own the place. Start looking through various bins, drawers, whatever I can look in that's not, behind the counter.
How big is this place? Is there somewhere that I can move to that would not be seen by any shop owner.
Within the building.
Mhm.
Why?
How you might be able. I mean, how hidden are you trying to be? You could possibly squeeze between a couple of the shelving areas, but
Yeah,
not.
sure.
You're
just
you're
gonna-
you're not exactly a small guy.
Sure, fair. I'm just going to light a little bit of incense and put it back there. Try to make sure that it's like reasonably well hidden, but just try to make this place smell a little bit less pungent.
What are you doing with this incense? Turn that off.
Why?
It's
Gareth
Not
Patchouli,
long after you
really?
light the incense,
it stinks.
An old man, kind of hunched over a bit, leaning on what looks to be a widowed branch for a makeshift cane. Said, did someone is someone smoking in here? What's going on?
I'll kind of thumb over my shoulder to Gareth. It's the priest. Incense. Have you any modeling clay? And a few small white rocks. And 25 feet of rope. And a bit of bat droppings would be lovely.
Neela just looks at Gareth and is like,
I
well,
hope
I don't
you're
know
not
what
still
I
shopping
don't,
for dinner.
I don't know what he's got planned, but count me out.
You'll thank me later.
I think we should have most of what you require.
I really don't want most of it. I want all of it.
Well,
I have
in
coin.
that case, I guess we will have to find it all for you.
We will. I
Hilda!
have
Yells.
coin. Oh, I need some gum Arabic as well. Yes, excellent, very good then. And he just walks away. I'll be looking around while you pull everything together. Nice shop you have.
A young woman comes out from the back as well. You see there's a family resemblance. Possibly the age difference seems to be young, to where she may possibly be his granddaughter. He mumbles something almost unintelligible that she somehow seems to understand, and begins to go looking through various boxes, and appears to be gathering stuff together. The old man comes up to Gareth and says, I'm not one to argue with the, members of various priesthoods, but that is a bit of a hazard, lighting things in here.
Oh, my apologies. I only wished to share the light of Zodal with you. I'll snuff it and put it away.
Many thanks.
I told you. I tried to tell him.
Could I interest you in some tobacco?
Does he just like stick his face between the pair of shelves, just like, I told you?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of got the long, pointy nose. He's got very long, kind of purpley tinted hair. Little rock gnome guy. Yeah.
His eyesight may be going. His sense of smell is apparently right on point.
Amazing.
Doesn't have COVID then. We're safe in here.
Too early.
Too real. I
Uh,
don't have I don't have the New Year's champagne out yet.
Right.
I will agree with that. Too early.
Oh man.
It isn't long after that Hilda, the young woman, calls out and says, "Your your order is ready.
Oh, that was very much quicker than I anticipated. Very nice. Nicely done. Excellent. Comes up to the counter, dropping some things he picked up, other bits and pieces of things. Here we go then. How much, what's the damage?
You see her looking the stuff over, counting. She seems to be counting in her head, and she says, I think 2 gold should cover it all.
Oh, very good. I have that much. He'll fish out a couple of gold coins. Thank you very much. Excellent shop.
Spouse, thank you. We aim to please.
Yes, very nice. And thank you for
She
putting out that
turns and
incense.
looks up and she says, "Grandfather, please let the cleric out from beneath the between the shelves." What? He says, "Oh, sorry. It was a pleasure doing business with you all." And he wanders slowly into the back.
Neela just mutters, "Oh, is that what we're calling that?"
Did I hear right? You have tobacco on special right now?
He did mention tobacco, yes.
I need to restock my bag. It's getting low.
Okay. Tilda manages to get some tobacco for you she says if the good stuff, it would be 5 silver.
The coin bag, pull out 5 silver. Sounds like a deal.
She takes the coins, hands you the tobacco rolled up carefully and packaged carefully for you, and offers it to you with a smile.
Thank you
She
much.
says, "You're all new in town, passing through."
I suppose you could say that.
Oh. It's unusual for us to have visitors this late in the year. Sometimes the roads become treacherous with the snows.
It appears it's festival time around here, yes?
Yes, they're awaiting the shipment for some of the festival goods. I understanding it was supposed to have arrived already, but I'm sure they're on top of it. There's still 2 days to go, so I'm not worried. She says with that eternal optimism of youth.
Is that why this whole town is just a sack of sad right now?
She says, "No, well, maybe. I don't want to speak for everyone, but it is a bit remote here.
A bit?
People, sometimes in the winter, it can be a little rough."
Oh, that's a whole different type of sad.
It sounds like you very much need a festival then.
I love the festival. It is a fantastic time of year.
Very well.
Plus, each new year brings new hope.
Right. Yes, New Hope then.
She says, "Is there anything else I can get for you?"
Where's a good place to stay for a couple days?
We don't get all that many adventuring types, but the wild pony seems to be a particular favorite. It can be a little rowdy, but I think you might enjoy it there.
You just at Rowdy, you just see Neela's ears perk up, just like, huh?
Kind of roll my eyes. Remember, we're looking for work, dear. And adventure. Not your kind of adventure, mind you, but the general adventure.
Well, you are just no fun.
Now
Look,
you
after
know
the
you know
last
better
one-
than that.
I'm just saying I could use a break for a day or two if we have it. That last one we did there, none of you guys stood in front of the ogre. None of you took the club. The shoulders are sore from carrying the team, okay?
Oh my god, would you let that go?
Just saying. I just want a meal. I just want a beer.
It's
And
not
then we
my
can-
fault that your shield sized.
I
Easy. Hey, am I right, Rolo? Am I right here? I'll get between them like I'm holding him back. Don't make me. I'll let him go. Enough with the short
okay,
jokes.
okay, that's fine. It's
Am I
fine.
right, Talia?
All right. Well, pony, huh? Which way?
No one lets me have any fun around here.
She says,
walks out.
just if you just keep following the road further into town, it will be on your right-hand side.
Excellent. I'm good here. Everyone else good?
I'm yes, quite well.
As I start making my way out, and as we go, I pull out my pipe and I go for a little bit of tobacco and I start packing it because, yeah.
This whole time, once Nyx got his spell components, he would have been fastidiously packing them away in his little. He has a pouch that he's fashioned to keep his components separate and all of that. And so anytime he speaks, he kind of looks back up from what he's doing and then goes right back to what he's doing. And so he follows Rollo out, barely looking where he's going, packing the spell components away.
Okay. So you head to the inn or the tavern?
The Wild Stallions.
Listen, the Wild Stallion is what the place aspires to be. Right now, it's just the Wild Pony.
Close enough.
As you approach, you do see a hanging sign with a picture of what you assume is supposed to be a pony frolicking. It's kind of hard to tell. Someone did their best, but at least they managed to spell it correctly. So there was points for that. It's actually, for the town its size, it's a sizable establishment. There you do see a couple of people come and go as you approach. So yes, it does appear to be open. Once you get inside the common room, there is what appears to be one large common room with no real separation. There are tables and chairs, mostly towards the outer edges. You see a couple more in the center of the room. There is, in one corner, there is actually a little raised platform, and on it sits a young man, young human male, who is just plucking at a lute, just playing a nice, relaxing tune for this early early afternoon? I said. The most striking feature of the place is the bar that is on the one end on your right as you walk in. It's hard to tell what's more impressive, the rather sizable half-orc who is standing behind the bar, or the giant maul that is hung above the bar area behind him. There are a fair number of patrons. The bar the place is maybe a quarter full in terms of table usage. It is still early in the day.
Well, this'll do, I suppose. Shall we get a table?
Neela's already there and sitting down.
Never mind. I'll kind of walk over, looking the place over. Wonder if they have a privy inside or out. I'll kind of look around the tap room, the common room, to see if I can see.
Nope. Not even gonna ask it.
Not one that's obvious.
I'll walk up to the bar real quick and see if I can flag down someone who appears to be an employee of the establishment. Excuse me.
There are a couple of servers. One of the young women walks over and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Yes. Might I inquire? Do you have a privy latrine?
We have an outhouse in the.
Yes, that will do. Where is it?
She points to a door that is out to the right of past the bar, and says, "Take that to the back of the building. You will find the outhouse there."
Very well, thank you. And I just look and nod at my party members and head out the door.
What I know, Neela and I took a seat. Anybody else?
I'll go join the table, and as I sit down and Nix is leaving, I'll just say to Neela, "I hope to God he's not scraping that for that guano."
Look, I've learned not to ask questions.
I'm learning I shouldn't ask questions about Nix, but curiosity. It's just.
I swear to God, the longer that he's with us, the longer we're with him, the stranger he gets. Every time I get one question answered, I have about 7 more.
I'll drink to that.
All right. What's Talia doing in all of this?
Thinking of different ways that she could rearrange Nyx's spell components while they're still on him.
Nyx has his components with him. Thank you.
Yes, and
She
Talia
did
is
say while they
extremely
were
dexterous.
I was gonna say she did say while they're still on him.
Oh, I thought you said while he was in the outhouse.
No.
Yeah.
That's for tipping the privy.
Nice.
All right. So
Talia's
now
getting
I'd
a
pay
small
to see
beer.
that.
Talia's not going to be the one to do the tipping.
the certain girl who had spoken to Nyx and saw her wave to the rest of you. Walks over and says, "You're here with the. Were you here with the gnome who I just spoke to? I presume."
Would you hate us if we said yes?
When do I know back for a crap? Yeah.
I have to say that it's not the. I can't say that it's the first time I've been asked that question. Someone's asked me that question before they ordered a drink, but both about the privy and would you hate me? Hate us, but can I get you drinks? Something, food?
Small beer. Side of roast. Small beer, a side of roast. Stew.
We can do that.
Awesome.
Some water and some bread, please.
This one. What's your biggest bottle of wine?
Ooh.
But he just went to the bathroom.
I said bottle, not sack.
She does chuckle at that, and she says, "Well, if you want to go by quality, um, are you just looking for pure quantity?"
I was gonna say, who said anything about quality?
Oh, I'm sure we can find. We have a jug of something or other downstairs.
Great, that I'll take it.
It's called cooking vinegar, dear.
I'm here for a good time, not a tasty one.
Not for a long time.
Can we get
Well,
get some cheese for
I
our
might be,
gnomish
you
friend
may
as
not.
well? It'll go well with his wine.
I'd like a large mug of the good stuff. And the roast sounds good as well. Or the
When you
stew.
say which good stuff, we have good stuff of varying types. Were you looking for ale? Wine?
We'll start with the ale.
Or were you looking for the strong stuff?
We'll start with the good ale, and we'll see how the day goes.
No, see, this is why you start with a lot of the bad wine first. So then by the time you get to the good one.
I prefer not to remember my mistakes at the end of the afternoon.
So she says, in that case, I will have your orders prepared for you. And she walks up to the bar first and has a word with the bartender, who, as tall as he is, has to lean down to speak to her. You see him look up, take a look down. You're pretty sure that he asked for confirmation of what she just told him. And you see her shrug her shoulders, at which point he grunts and heads in through one of the other doors, disappearing from sight, with one of the other workers taking his place for the moment. It isn't long before he comes back into the main room with probably one of the largest jugs you have ever seen in your life, as well as a small cask of what you presume to be ale. At the same time, the young woman brings the food that you had requested, and the water, and whichever refreshments you had requested. The half-orc looks down and says, "Somebody order the wine."
Oh, that would be
That
me.
one.
And she's just on the
Looks-
table, just like.
He raises one very bushy eyebrow and says, "You have no idea how long I've been looking to get rid of this stuff. Thank you." And
You
puts
got a
it down,
straw? Never mind, I got my own. She just-
and puts it down on the table in front of you. If it was anybody else, well, with the possible exception of Gareth, it probably would have covered their entire face from view. In front of Rollo, he puts the cask and takes out a small hammer and pops the cork off of it, and hands you you're given an empty mug.
I love the service of this place.
Will you need anything else?
Ask me about an hour.
Hmm. He smiles. Okay, I will do that. and the serving girl giggles and walks away, shaking her head. He turns around. He says, "What? What?" And walks after her. They have a slightly animated conversation. At which point, he takes his place behind the bar again.
You see entering the inn, the tavern, through the front door, a familiar, slender, slight figure in a long overcoat duster, very fine traveling clothes, walking stick. Long little white kind of goatee, long braided white hair in the back. The duster's kind of got a hood on the back. Walks in, closes the door, takes a hanky and wipes his hand after he kind of closes the knob with it. Walks past the table, looking at all of you, nodding. Kind of strokes his goatee. Steps up at the bar. Yes, hello. What sort of wine have you? Kind of settles in on a bar stool. And he's kind of dusts off the bar and very fastidiously clean. Yes, anyone? Wine, please. Well.
The half-orc walks over and says, "What class of wine are you looking for?"
What class of wine? The finest wine you have, of course. Please.
He looks you over, and you have the thought that he might be trying to judge your ability to pay for the wine.
Can I roll an insight on that? I have no clue with that roll. I don't notice. Too busy being snooty.
He says, "Okay, all right," and he goes looking underneath the bar and finds a bottle, brings it out, and says, "Will this do?"
I reach over, waiting permission to take the bottle from him.
He
Kind of.
allows you to look at the bottle.
Well, I've never heard of this vintage, but if it's the best you have, I'll take it.
Okay.
It's got. You say this
Did
figure is.
you want the entire bottle, or were you looking for...
Well, we'll start with a glass and see how it goes from there.
All right.
Set up a taster rack.
He clears away the wax from the stopper, pulls out the stopper, gives it a few seconds. It's obvious that he has dealt with wines before, on more than just a giant jug basis, and pours some into a well-crafted wooden cup, and puts the cup in front of you.
Very well. Kind of pick it up and swirl it a little bit, sniff it. Smells good enough. Take a sip, set it down. Very well. Fill it up.
He continues to pour more wine in, giving you filling your cup for you.
Very well. Thank you very much.
And he looks and says, it is not very often that we have someone come and ask for the fine wine."
Well, I've never been here before, now have I? Do you have rooms?
He thinks about that for a moment, and he says, "No, I don't think you've been here before."
I I would know, and no, I have not.
If you say so.
I do.
You asked about. Did I hear you asked about a room?
Yes.
Yes, we have rooms available.
Very well. Well, if you could arrange for me to have a room and a hot bath would be lovely. You do have a means for a hot bath.
Yes, we can arrange for that.
Ah, very
Nila
well.
leans over to Gareth and Rollo and it's just like, what is he up to?
I don't know, but let's make sure we get Nix a room for the night. A nice one.
Only if it's on his tab.
Absolutely.
I ain't paying for that.
No, it's on his tab.
Well, then shit, I'm ordering a jug of the good stuff after this.
The half orc looks at you and says, "When did you want that bath?"
Let me see. I'll let you know. I'd like to see how far into this wine I make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can I get you anything else?
No, thank you. Just maybe a bit of information about this festival or whatever happens around here, if anything happens around here.
Festival. Be lucky if this festival happens.
Oh, no. Why do you say that?
Ship it with some of the provisions specifically for the feasts, as well as some of the stuff for the ceremony, some of the various items for the ceremony were supposed to have arrived a couple of days ago, and well, there's been no word.
Oh, you don't say.
Yet again, you hear Nila shout from the table, "Is this why this whole town is just a giant sack of sad?"
I'll kind of look over my shoulder like, oh dear. Lovely.
He looks and calls out and says, "Huh, sad, huh? I always thought it was kind of cheery myself."
Sweetheart, you need to get out more.
I'll kind of raise my glass in Neela's direction.
One of the servers walks by the table right at the time and says, "I keep telling him that."
You know, they just never listen to us, do they?
Yeah. And he's a particularly stubborn one.
Aren't they all? She just kind of laughs.
She sighs and says, "Yes." But, he looks between as if he's trying to figure out whether or not fun is being had at his expense, and he kind of shrugs and says, "Yeah, well, I hope it arrives, because as much as people, I like sad people, they drown their sorrows. Really sad people tend to drown their sorrows to the point where, well, I need to do stuff about it, and that never goes over well."
I see. Well, where were these provisions coming from?
They're supposed to be coming via the Eastern Road. It sometimes it's been a while, but there's been times where we've had issues with bandits, but they kept telling us the road was safe this winter. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure the provisions will be along.
Maybe.
And I'll pull out a little pouch of tobacco and some papers and roll a little cigarette very, very carefully, perfectly, one-handed.
So that's a dex check right there.
Yeah, he seems mildly impressed by that.
We're overhearing this whole conversation perfectly fine.
I'm speaking loudly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the half-orc's voice carries throughout the room.
I also imagine that Nyx or whatever the persona is just only has one volume setting and it's loud.
Yeah. It's Flicks schist liver. Thank you very much.
You flicked your shit liver? What's wrong with you?
No. Flicks. Say it with me. Watch my mouth, little one.
Netflix?
Flicks schist liver.
Shit's liver.
Like the stone schist liver.
So, Gareth, you know a bit about medicine. Is this something that's contagious?
Neela's just got her jug and is dying.
At the word contagious, the half-orc steps back, moves away.
I don't even know these people.
I definitely advise that. No one wants a shit liver.
I kind of look back over my shoulder at the strangers and just kind of shake my head, and I pull my finger out and look around, and I press to digitate a small flame at the end of it and light my cigarette. Then I blow my finger out. I don't know these people clearly.
Oh my God, is he gonna pull this in every damn bar we go into?
You know what? It's always fun when he does for a little bit.
Yeah. Why shit liver though?
I think he
knows
does it
this
just because he
always
knows
happens.
he knows we get a kick out of it. That's what this is. He's over there just riling us up right now and stirring up trouble, and I think trying to ruin our weekend off.
You're right. Sounds like he wants to go after this cop, which I don't think would be such a bad idea, but that's not the type of rowdy I'm into this weekend. If you know what I mean.
No. But I don't want you to explain it right now in full detail.
She just looks at you and just holds up her jug. Really?
I hold up my cask and my mug. Terrible representation.
I feel really sad with my water bottle out of character.
I was gonna say I'll probably get the actual bottle out of the fridge if and when we take a break. But
So
yeah,
So
this close
an
to
hour
making
goes
another short
by.
joke.
I'm not sure how far you've made it into that jug of wine, but
Probably about a quarter of the way through.
How big is that jug of wine anyway? We're talking a gallon here?
it's at least a gallon.
And
Biggest-
again, I say probably about a quarter of the way through.
Biggest jug of wine ever.
Just like two handles of wine with one convenient handle.
And a reed straw.
That you're not quite sure where she pulled that out from.
No, we won't ask.
I don't
Or-
question these things anymore.
That's better not to ask.
I love that every game I've played recently has just resulted in some kind of cutlery being pulled out from somewhere. Last time it was, as we dubbed it so lovingly, the boob spoon. Do y'all need a spoon? Wait,
No.
you don't carry your
No,
own?
I do
You don't bring your own?
So is the food any good?
The food is edible. It's
Excellent.
not. It's. Let's put it this way. Compared to what you've survived on in the last few days while on the road, the food tastes fantastic.
Excellent.
It is hot. There's plenty of it. It's well spiced. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's roast something.
my favorite. Roast something.
Roast something. Is it squirrel? Is it bird? I don't care. It's warm and it's not dried out before I ate it. This is good.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, the wine is definitely having the intended effect. You've gone from shaking off the cold to could somebody please turn the fireplace down? The hearth is getting a little raucous over here. And as we get a little later in the afternoon, the young man playing the lute has picked up the tempo a bit. He's taken a break or two, but he's picked up the tempo, and there are you managed to notice that there are more people here now than when you first entered. That feeling of sadness mixed with alcohol has made the servers busy. They're running to and fro, trying to,
Has the bartender come back to the table? Because Neela definitely said, "Ask me again in an hour."
At one point, he kind of notices you looking at him, and he pats the guy who in front of him who seems to be trying to talk his ear off, and the guy instantly shuts up, and he comes over and says, "How's the wine?"
Fantastic. But I'm going to need a loaf of bread and exactly 3 sticks of butter. Do not ask questions.
3 sticks of butter?
I said what I said.
Just get her across. She knows what
All
she
right.
needs.
All right. I think we can work something out.
What can come of this?
While they're dining and so forth and the crowd begins to grow, I will begin to work the room, introducing myself to everyone except the party, shaking hands, offering cigarettes, carrying my bottle of wine with me, pouring a little bit here and there. I've left whatever necessary coin at the bar for the bartender. And I'm just working the room to see if I can learn anything more about what's going on, what's the deal with the provisions, where do they come from, that sort of thing. Maybe dancing a little bit if I find maybe I'll grab one of the female servers, very politely, elegantly, in fact, and dance her around a few times, and then go back to, talking. And
Can we get a performance check for that?
Performance. I want to camera.
I'm thinking I want a performance check for that.
all right, die rolling. Here we go. That is that's a nat 20. So eat that. I'm killing it.
Well, not only do you manage to win some hearts and minds and gather some information, you're beginning to suspect that people are willing to vote for you as mayor. But that's another story.
If only I weren't so unapproachable.
I think you mean unsightly, she says as you dance and cast her.
Yes,
By the way, as you dance, the young man with the lute really starts to pick it up.
I'll try to keep up, but I've got a 14 dexterity, so, and a 12 con, so I'm probably going to be okay for a little while. But once I feel like I've milked the room for what I'm probably going to get out of these folks, I will begin to bid my adieus and slip out the front door quietly.
As soon as that loaf of bread is brought to the table, Neela just looks at you and just like, what? As she starts slicing pieces of bread and putting an obnoxious amount of butter on each slice.
Yeah. So the bread came out, big loaf. The butter came out in one large block.
Sounds about right.
Country crock.
He says, "Did you need a knife to cut that?"
Yes, definitely.
He takes a knife that he had and offers it to you. Says, "Here you go. Uh, anyone who can drink that wine, use one of my knives."
I appreciate that. And she just starts cutting up the bread, slathering an obnoxious amount of butter on it, and then just starts snacking in between sips of her giant jug of wine. Just that's it. She said it very strangely. She does it on purpose. She is just by all means chaotic, but like she was planning on eating it.
Excellent. What's our friendly neighborhood clerk doing in all of this?
Well, he's eaten the bread that he asked for already, so now he's just very curiously watching Nyla. And yeah, I think just generally people watching the room, staying pretty quiet.
All right. And Talia?
Talia will be wandering around the room with her beer in hand, being generally personable, but looking for the seedy underbelly, seeing if there's any other people who might be more connected to the underground than what Nyx might be able to pull out through some artful dancing and rather graceless two-step stomping.
Roll a perception check.
Perception. Hey, I have proficiency. That would be a 17.
You are able to identify the seedy underbelly. It is the guy playing the lute.
Oh, yeah. And how seedy is his underbelly?
You've managed to pick up on the fact that he has basically taken the measure of every person who has either walked through the door or walked past him at some point.
All right.
You suspect he's gauging, one, how wealthy they might be, and two, how drunk they might be.
Does he take breaks?
Yes, actually, he does.
Okay. And do I notice him pressing any particular clients or customers? Might be prepping him for pocket picking, or has he done it already?
Actually, you haven't noticed that.
Okay. I'll pass by and flash him a little thieves' can't signal and basically see if I can make contact. Subtly.
He very subtly, if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't have noticed it, gives you a reply.
Okay. I just sort of nod over to a quiet, darker corner and sign that when you've got a moment. And I'll go back there and sip on my beer and take my own measure of the room. See if there's anyone there who might be in need of having their purse lightened.
So, about another half hour passes or so when the door to the tavern bursts open, and a rather portly man bursts in. His hair on his head has seen better days, though he does have a sizable beard. He looks to be in his late 40s, and he shouts, "We're ruined! Ruined, I tell you! This is going to be the worst Need Fest ever."
Elliot pipes up. What did
wanders
Nyx
over
do
to the
now?
bar and says, "Whiskey, please."
Well, that sounded a little dramatic.
A little concerned where this is going to go. Just gonna perk my ears up and start leaning back, try to listen in a little better with what they're going to talk about.
Nerg says, "Mr. Mayor, How many times do I have to ask you to close the door behind you? And the portly gentleman says, but, says, close the door. You hear the Mayor Harumph looks up at the half-orc who's now glaring at him and thinks better of it and sheepishly walks over and closes the door and then walks back and says, about that whiskey? Nerd pushes a cup in front of him.
Well, it seems like we know who really runs the town.
Yeah, probably. Where the hell is Nix?
Look, I've learned to stop asking questions. Hey, preacher man, you dance? Neela says, and it just picks Gareth up and drags him off to dance. Trying to get closer to whatever's going on over at the bar.
Sure. Gareth will go along with this, probably rather awkwardly.
While this is happening, the young man playing the lute has been joined by two other players, one with a flute and one with what to be a pair of percussion drums.
Getting the band back together, man.
The lute player does take a break and wanders over to the corner where Talia is standing and nods in greeting.
Talia nods back, and they exchange all in thieves' cant that can generally not be well understood by most people. A conversation that goes something along the lines of, "What do you know?" and gestures to the mayor.
He says, he looks around and he says, well, it's kind of slim pickings around here. Honestly, the mayor is probably the best target, but that brings its own kind of problems. Honestly, I normally look for adventurers, but, well, I think I'll pass where you all concerned.
That's wise. I was thinking more in terms of the missing cart. Have you had any new ones around, like new roguish types who might be in town and making things disappear like?
No, but it's been kind of interesting. We haven't seen much of any, and nearly as much traffic as we do for the festival this year. Your group is probably the first new set of eyes, new set of people that I've seen in the last week or so.
You had lots of travelers?
He thinks about it and he says, so, you came from the west, which is where you did come from?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we don't. In winter, we don't normally see many people from that side, but we do normally have travelers come from the east. I'm not going to say this is the best festival you'll ever see, but it's at least enjoyable for what it is.
Right.
And it's not like there's much else around. But yeah, no, it's been kind of quiet.
So, don't get out much then, do you do? Out the walls? No word of bandits afoot out east?
There has been some talk of bandits, but I don't know. It just seems the last of the bandit gangs had been run out some time ago. So if the cart was attacked, I think it might be something new. but that's just me speculating.
Might be something worth looking into. You keep yourself busy and keep your fingers clean. It's not going to be a good night around here.
I have to say, making music for these folk, it takes the sting off and helps me. They're as generous as they can be. I have no quarrel with them. I try to keep to outsiders.
Small towns. Everyone knows your name.
There is that too.
Mm-hmm.
With that, he nods and heads back to the now 3-person group, and they start to play again.
Nix will come back in through the door that he exited and immediately grab one of the servers. You excellent facility, but you're going to want to clean it up a bit, I think. Yes. And he walks out and
Same server?
yeah, and seats himself at the table. Well,
She looks very confused because you've been gone for about 2 hours now.
I'll slip her
And
I'll slip her a couple of silver pieces before I leave as well.
Huh.
For
That perks her right up. So I can always get Josie to do it.
well,
You
what,
girls.
whatever you need to do, but you should do it soon and carefully. And I'll go back out and sit at the table. Well, it's good to see you all. Having a fine time, I trust.
Rollo's the only one that's still.
I'm the only one at the table.
I was saying, meanwhile at the bar.
Right.
Does
Yeah,
Garrett say
so-
anything to Neela when she goes, "Do you dance, preacher man? Let's go."
Well, I imagine she didn't really wait for much of a response. He would have gone with it. But as she was kind of trying to guide them toward like the mayor and stuff, he was trying to keep an eye on Talia and everything that was going on over there.
Okay,
So I
so
imagine
basically we're just kind of
Yes,
spinning
exactly.
consistently because like, all right, you gotta watch on them. All right, let me see what I can pick up from Mr. Mayo over here.
Yeah, exactly.
So existential question here: is it really kind of splitting the party if you're all still in the same room?
It
Yes,
all depends
that's what
on
makes it fun.
Keeps me on my toes.
I just want to take advantage that I have the table to myself. And once everyone kind of gets up, I just spread my whole setup out just a little bit further to establish more dominance at this table right now.
So you're doing the dwarf spread.
I'm doing the dwarf spread. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah. Meanwhile at the bar.
Mila definitely comments on this to Gareth. He's doing the dwarf spread again.
We will do that.
Elia will make her way back to the table, sit within Rollo's spread. Very
Tuck under an arm?
unobtrusively start picking things away from the spread and consuming them herself. So that Rollo doesn't really notice, but his domain is getting smaller and smaller.
Oh boy. All right. So, meanwhile, at the bar, the mayor and Nerd are having a very, very animated conversation. Well, no, let's rephrase. The mayor is having a very animated conversation. Nerd seems to be fighting off the urge to wring the mayor's neck, just because he won't stop talking. You do catch something about a horse, a single horse, and this is a disaster, and what are we going to do? And Nurg every once in a while, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor. And finally he just claps him on the shoulder. It is audible. You hear it through the room to the point where everything stops. He just looks up and says, "Go back to business." At which point everybody just turns ahead quickly, pretends that they didn't see or hear a thing, and goes back to drinking and eating and listening to music and doing everything that they can except look at the bar. The mayor has his mouth open. No sound is coming out. You hear him squeak as if trying to say, give voice to the pain that just will not come. And he says, I suggest if you're going to complain about it, you do something about it. Otherwise, order another drink because I got customers.
Neela is definitely making that face, just like.
The mayor says, and just pushes his cup forward for another pour.
Oh, we definitely know who really runs this town then. Surprise, it ain't the mayor.
At which point the mayor takes the drink and in his other hand, because his one arm seems to not be working for reasons that are not entirely clear, and makes his way over to an empty table and sips his drink.
So Gareth, what do you think?
At that point, Talia will take some more of Rollo's domain and make her way over to the mayor's table with her beer and domain in hand and pull up a chair across from him and say, "You have a problem," and start eating.
I'm just going to top off my glass, put my head in my hand, and just go, my weekend off is ruined.
I think at that point, Neela sees you guys making your way over, and she just kind of like motions to Rollo to grab her jug.
The mayor looks at Talia and says, "Excuse me?" It's like, "Yeah, I got a problem. Did you see what he did to my shoulder? Oh my God."
Well, he was probably being gentle. You should see what Rollo can do when he gets his massage fingers going. Mm-hmm.
Who or what is Rollo?
Yon table, there is a domain of a dwarf who has spread. Here's some of his domain. Enjoy.
At this point, does Rollo just come and sit down?
No, I'm very slow at getting off the table, and it's very obvious that I don't want to do this, but I'm going to.
He says, so that's a Rollo, huh?
Oh, yes.
And who might you be?
I'm Talia, and I'm here to help you solve your problem.
You got
Neela sits down. Neela sits down. Neela, and I may or may not be here to help you solve your problem. Depends.
Gareth can help you with the shoulder. Rollo could probably work the rest of the kinks out. Nix can probably just annoy the crap out of you.
Well, and I just drink and look pretty.
And the one with the big jug, she can definitely help you find your things when they're lost.
Nix will approach the table, grab a chair, and sit down and scowl and fumble around with two hands trying to roll a cigarette that's all misshapen and, doesn't look good.
Nix, how the Thunder Mug work out?
Strikes a match, lights a cigarette.
That bad, eh?
So what have we here? Who is this man?
This man is the mayor of this lovely place.
Oh, well, indeed.
He did mention something about Backguano in his belfry, though.
Oh?
I want to check it out.
That's interesting.
But you're missing something, aren't you, Mayor?
He sighs and says, "Yes, He looks at each of you and says, huh, huh. I presume that you're an adventuring party, huh?
That's one way of looking at it. We're more like a business. We help people solve problems.
And we
Sometimes
occasionally
things-
light things on fire.
No, only you do that.
Right.
Well, Gareth lights incense on fire.
That's different. Do you remember the last time that we let Nick light something on fire? Because he became the problem we had to fix.
And
Well-
you did a nice job fixing it. I told you I'm grateful that that will be enough of that.
Well,
So
it
what's
was
this
of course
problem we
our-
have?
We caught you wanted for arson.
The druids didn't mind that much. It was only their grove.
The mayor sighs and says, "Well, yes, you're not wrong. I do have a problem." He downs what's left of his drink in his small mug, and while he's rubbing his shoulder, he says, I'm afraid that this year's Need Fest is going to be a sad affair."
I would never have guessed.
He looks at you side-eyed, tries in his head to decide whether to retort and lets it go. After the politician.
I'll give him the I thought so look.
He said we had a number of items, both supplies for the festival as well as for the ceremonies, and this morning, well, maybe not even this morning, I guess it was maybe a couple of hours ago, a horse ran in from the eastern road, and well, it looked like it had escaped. It had escaped its tack in the cart that it would have been attached to or pulling.
That's odd. I presume the cart was the cart of your provisions.
Well, we were supposed to have received the shipment 2 days ago. I can't say for certain, but considering we haven't seen anything else come in from the east, that is my guess.
Well, how much are these provisions worth to you?
He sighs and looks down, and
Oh,
he thinks,
jeez. Here we go.
I could probably put together a reward of 100 gold pieces.
Look around the table at my companions.
Talia shrugs.
I mean, it just depends on what we get into.
Are you really haggling the mail right now?
Well, I mean,
Well-
don't mean to haggle, but just,
It is just walking around with me.
you know, I suppose whatever we find, we'll keep. So perhaps there will be more to gain than just the reward from our fine mayor. And I'll kind of slap him on his sore shoulder.
You reach his sore shoulder.
He closes his eyes and cringes. There may have been a small tear running
Oh,
down one
poor mayor.
cheek. He is in some serious pain here.
Gareth, this man needs your help. Show him the light.
Would you like a come to Jesus moment?
Hallelujah. Pass the ammunition.
Yeah, so Gareth will pull out his holy symbol and kind of wave a hand over the shoulder and mutter a few words and very ceremoniously cast Healing Word.
He looks and closes his eyes and opens them again and says, "Oh, thank you, sir. That is most appreciated.
Do not thank me, thank Zudal."
Oh, here we go with that.
I will do that. I will make sure to make a donation the next time I see a Temple of Jaral.
Fucking one right here.
A real life walking and talking temple.
No need of your gold.
Yes, you do.
Actually, he does give
Don't-
you. He does offer you 5 silver from a coin for a donation.
Very well, I will pass this on to the next temple.
If you were about to turn that down, Neela would have taken it and said, "Thank you for your donation to the International Bank of Gareth." Because I feel like at this point she would have just started collecting a few of the coins that people have offered you for like your services because you won't take them. So anytime you're like, "I only need this," she has
no,
like a
I
stash
would
to
take
pay
them
for your
and-
stuff.
I would take them and probably keep them like in a separate pouch, like very carefully
That's what the alms
designated
box is for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's basically I was doing the same thing, but she just has like 2 separate coin pouches on her belt. One of them is hers, and the other one just has crudely stitched into it Gareth.
And Talia just looks at that and says, "What? It's all the same." Pats her pouch. Gareth has alms, I have palms.
But you each worship something.
The almighty coin.
Yes, well, this is all well and good, but we're wasting time, I think. To the east, you say?
Yes.
And Juliet is the west.
Shall we then? And I'll stand up rather brusquely, dust off.
Have a good night, Nix. We'll see you in the morning.
I meant all of us. Talia.
In the middle of the night.
Is it evening?
It's getting to late afternoon, early evening.
Yeah.
You've
that's what I
been
thought.
here for a few hours now.
Can
Time
we at
for a
least
long
get
rest.
one of our days off? Please? For once.
Well, these fine folks here would like to have their most excellent festival, and I think we should look into this immediately.
But Neela, they will want to get hammered.
I'm already halfway there, buddy. You look and she's like literally halfway through her jug.
Do me a favor,
Brought
make a
over
constitution
Neela's drug.
check.
Sure thing. I was waiting for it.
Through this whole conversation, just brought over Neela's jug, dropped it off, went back to her table, started quietly bussing it back up for the servers, corked my thing up, and I went up and settled at the bar.
That is a dirty 20, baby.
You are feeling so good right now, and feeling no ill effects whatsoever. You're pretty sure that you could fly if you tried really hard.
It's the
Not
bread
gonna
and
lie,
butter.
I'm itching to fight something, but someone, not really, in an attempt to get a caught back. She just kind of like stares off into the middle distance. Or something. And then just kind of looks back.
So then it's settled. We'll find out what's happened with your provisions and report back and collect our coin.
Oh, thank you. That would be amazing.
Out east, how far is the nearest settlement village where your provisions were coming from? How far away is that?
It is about 3-day ride.
Anyone have a map of the area?
I think that can be arranged. He actually waves someone over, and one of the men in the bar, he waves him over, and speaks to him really quickly, and sends the guy runs off and says, if you gather your things, I think we should have a map for you by the time you're ready to go.
Perfect then.
Excellent.
Meet us out front. And Nix is up and out the door.
Okay.
I just
And
said I'm
sure
not
enough,
even halfway
shortly-
through my jug of wine. What?
Always take it with you.
No, that's okay. She takes it back over to the bar and flags down the bartender and just hands it to him and says, I'm not done with this quite yet, but it appears that I have been voluntold to find a cart. So can you just hang on to this for me?
Eric smiles and says, mm-hmm.
Thank you. You're a doll.
You ever seen a half-orc blush? It's an interesting thing.
There's a deeper shade of green.
Yeah.
Which
All
is
right.
not unlike a whiter shade of pale.
So I think at this point we are going to take a break. And we will be back shortly.
All right. What, 5 minutes? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that long enough? All right.
it works.
Very
for
good.
me.
We'll see you back in 5 minutes, fair viewers. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll be back shortly.